I can't confirm or deny anything she's saying because I'm not an astronaut. Crazy enough, I'm not an astronaut. But it seems pretty accurate. So, because it's flying over my head. And if it's flying over my head, it's probably accurate. Hello everyone, my name is Allie. Welcome back to my channel, Prairie Purl Knits. This is going to be my second podcast episode. I did film a video to go between my second and third episode. I don't know if that's going to be uploaded. We'll see. I'm like kind of editing it, deciding if it's something I actually want to upload, but you might see me again next week. Who knows? I am pretty solemn today. I think the entirety of Edmonton is pretty solemn today. I was at work last night working the game, and it was a time. It was very solemn. You don't know, the Oilers lost in game 6 and we lost to Stanley Cup final, so that was super fun. And I have refused to watch any sort of like highlight clips from it because I can only imagine how bad it was. So I don't want to subject myself to the terror that is the Edmonton Oilers right now. Also, sorry for the lighting. I feel like I look odd. Maybe, perhaps. Who knows? Either way, I'm just going to jump straight into my FOs because I have 2 to talk about. They are the ones that I thought I was going to be able to talk about this week anyways, so I did finish both of them. The first one is what I'm currently wearing. This is my coloring book tee by Amy Sher, and I'll stand up to show you guys. But yes, this is my coloring book tee by Amy Sher. I started this April 2023, and it's finally done. It sat unfinished for about 2 years, and I finally decided to pick it up and finish it because I loved it. Every time I would try it on, like I'd look at it, I'd see the project bag, and I would be like, I should really finish that. And I just try it on, and then I'd put it on, I'd be like, yeah, I really should finish that. And I just never did. But I have now, so I love it. The only thing I have to say, which is definitely a me problem, and it's also a problem on my next FO, is I kind of just went off pattern when it comes to picking up stitches on the sleeves. And it is a little bit wavy here. I will put in some clips of it being blocked and unblocked so you guys can see the difference. It was a lot tighter before I blocked it, and now that I have blocked it, it is a lot looser and flowier. It's still not baggy, still not oversized, so I do really love the fit of this. I just do think the sleeves could be a little bit tighter to my arm. But then again, I'd rather not be suffocating in it. So I have a mirror right here, so I'm looking in it. But yeah, I think it looks great. I've already worn it once. I wore it when I went to work, and I'm probably going to try and wear it out soon to like hang out with a friend. So it is knit in Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino in the colorways Dusty Artichoke and Natural White. I have quite a bit of yarn left. I'll go grab it to show you guys because I have a decent amount of this left. So this is how much of the white I have left. And if you know the Knitting for Olive skeins, how they work, I'm just getting to the point where you can see that like crisscross. So I have quite a bit of this left. And then I have a full skein and probably, I don't know, a quarter left of a second. So I could definitely figure out something to do with this. And I love this yarn. It feels great. It's very soft. It's super like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just so lightweight and breathy and airy. Great summer yarn. I will definitely come back to this many a time because fantastic yarn. And now I have so much of it left. But I will probably find something to do with it. Maybe I'll make like a stripy tank top or something. The Sailor Swift. Or maybe possibly the one by Lily Kate France. I can't remember the name, but I'll put it on the screen if I can find it. Because it's very much my style, and I do finding that I really like Lily Kate France's pattern writing style, which we'll get into in a second. Oh, also I knit this on size 3.25 millimeter needles, and I made size 3, which I think is a little bit like a size down-ish from what I typically should knit with my bust circumference, but it's still like fits perfectly. So I have no real issue, and I'm pretty sure I was on gauge because I remember I did swatch. My next FO, I haven't weaved the ends in yet, so, and there's a lot of ends, so we don't talk about that. That is my Gray Up Slipover by Camilla Vad. Oh, it looks so good on camera. Every time I put this on camera, I'm like, that looks so good. It looks so good. This is my first ever stranded colorwork project. The closest I've come to any sort of colorwork was stripes. And so for this to finally be done, I'm so happy with it. The only issue I have is I feel like the shoulder section with the ribbing is too long or too wide. Like this, also this flares. I was looking at the pattern, and I think the only thing I did different is I did one extra row on the ribbing because I didn't look at the pattern when I did the ribbing, and I counted my stitches and I'm pretty much on the stitch count that they asked for. I also didn't do the tubular bind off. I do not like a tubular or Italian bind off. It's so tedious. It takes so long for a result that I just don't love anyway. So I like a typical knit bind off, but I think this one flared a bit, which I don't usually experience. Like, as you can tell, it kind of comes out. I think I'm gonna weave in all the ends except the ones on the armhole. The neck ribbing I'm fine with. I don't know, I want this to be something I wear. I'm really proud of it. Just, do you see that? Oh, it's so gorgeous. This yarn bloomed beautifully. Like, I knew it was going to, but it's just so nice and puffy. I will show you guys my yarn that's left over. So this is all the Knitting for Olive Nordic Peach I have left. Like, all of it. So I'm glad I got that out of stash. This is how much I have left of the colors. And this is Retrosaria Rosa Pomar Brusca, and the dark green is C574, and the light green is A573. But like, you can see how thin the strand is, and then you go to like the end and it just poofs. Do you see that? That's up with it being like tightened, you know? It's so gorgeous. I love it. And I think it just filled in the gaps so well. I love the way it fits on me. It's not super tight, but it's not loose at all either. My goal with this was to have something that was a bit more tight fitting, to wear like over a turtleneck and tucked into my black jeans. And I wanted it to wear to a concert. So I'm glad that it's done with a lot of time to spare, because the concert's not for 3 months. So I have a lot of time. I'm knitting, or I did knit this on 4mm needles. I made size 4, which again is a size down from what I should have knit in the pattern, because I wanted that tighter fit. I think that is something that is going to be quite common, is sizing down, because I think a lot of patterns nowadays just have a certain amount of ease that I don't love. Or like this, for example, it is not a loose fitting pattern at all, but I knew I wanted something that was a bit more skin tight, and this kind of just fit the bill with that. Also, the drape in this now, so pretty and nice. Oh my god, I love it. It definitely softened up too. This yarn pre-blocking versus post-blocking is so much softer. It is still a bit scratchy and rustic, but I think it's going to be more tolerable now than it was before. When I was trying it on before I blocked it, I was a bit nervous because I was like, this feels really itchy. But I think it'll be okay. Especially if I have something underneath, I'll be fine. And it's just such a great yarn for color work. It's so sticky. There's so many nice colors that, like, I think I can ignore it being a little bit scratchy and just having to wear something else underneath. We are still going to ignore my ends, okay? Please. I'm not in the mood. I was not in the mood doing it yesterday. I was not in the mood to do it before I blocked. I'm pretty good with weaving in my ends, okay? So we don't talk about that. Either way, this is my floats. I think I did a pretty decent job for my first colorwork project, especially. I was doing combination knitting. Well, I guess there's 2 words that refer to that, because I know some people refer to like use combination knitting to refer to the purl. If you like knit continental, doing a different purl. I mean, I was doing English and continental together. But I think, oh, we ignored that one. I snagged that one. Oops. But I think overall, my tension, pretty even. And there is still some elasticity in my floats too. Though I did block it out quite a bit. So yeah, that's my Grey Up Slipover by Camilla Vad. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I have tried again to look up how it's pronounced, and I am struggling. So I'm just gonna hold the Grey Up Slipover, and if I'm wrong, well, I'll take it on the chin. So next we're going to go ahead and get into my works in progress. Again, like last episode, I'm gonna go oldest to newest, because my oldest whip now is what was my newest then, because I finished this one. I'm so happy. Either way, that is the Musselburgh hat for my boyfriend by Isolde Teague. I told him not to watch the last section, but he might just watch it now because I keep giving him like little sneak peeks. So if you want to watch, go for it. I mean, I'd rather you not, but also do what you want. I'm not gonna have enough yarn, I think. We'll see. I might, but this is how much yarn I have left. And maybe that might reach farther than I expect, but I also have like 25 more rows, full rows to knit, plus the decrease section. And I don't know if that's gonna get me all the way through. It might, but we will see. This is the progress that I have made. Where's my stitch marker? This green one here was where I was at the end of the last podcast episode. Or where I estimated I was. I didn't put it on right after, but I estimated based on watching. So I've knit a number of inches on this, and I'm pretty close to doing the decrease section. I think I have like 2.5, 3 inches left, but I am in the home stretch. I have a doctor's appointment today, so I think I'm gonna bring this with me. And so this will definitely be done by the next podcast episode, but I don't know if I have enough yarn. But I'm not too stressed about if I don't, because I do have a lot of scraps from the socks I've knit from Arcane Fiberworks yarn, that I can just toss that in here and just make sure that's the inside part, even though I was hoping that I'd like the decreases better than the increases because I don't like how the way the cast on looks, but I think I can just weave in the end and it'll be fine. I think I'm gonna knit as much as I can until I get to the point where I can't knit no more with this yarn, and then weave in the end at the start because I haven't done that yet. Try to close up the pinhole cast on little gaps, and then yeah, if I need to use scrap yarn, that'll just be on the inside of the project because I don't want to have to use anything else. I'm gonna have to weigh this and see because it might be more than I expect it to be. Yeah, I should probably tell you guys the yarn that I'm using. This is Arcane Fiberworks fingering base, and it is in the colorway Crimson Moon. I went into the story about this yarn in my last episode, and you know, I love it. I think it looks really great. It's not a color I would choose for myself, but it's not for me. It's a gift knit that I made out of the kindness of my heart for no real reason. And oh my god, there's a car alarm going off. Thank you. Because he just casually asked, and I was like, yeah, sure, pick a yarn. And now he's a hat. So my next work in progress is the one that might be in timeout now. I was doing these in hopes of creating some, you know, positive energy going into game 6. And apparently it didn't work. Which, can I just say, I have a bone to pick with, okay, I work at a specific store and we sell specific things. There's one person who always comes into that store before every game and gets the same thing, and whoever's at till always happens to be wearing their jersey because it's usually me or one other person, of which I was bonding about this with yesterday before the game, and he did not come in the last 2 games. And the next time I see him, I'm going to have a mega bone to pick with him because I know like superstitions are relatively lighthearted, but when it comes down to the wire, when it comes down to an elimination game, stick to it. It's the principle. It's the principle of it all. Either way, these are my Oilers socks that I started. So my Oilers socks, I don't know how to show you guys this because there is in fact 4 strands of yarn attached, 2 to each sock, but yeah, so I'm doing like mismatched vibe because I think it looks really cool. So I did 20 rounds of 2x2 rib on each sock, and of course I'm doing these 2 at a time. I can't remember what I said last time about my 2 at a time sock thing. I knit a pair of socks on DPNs back when I was a DPN sock knitter, and the gauge was just so wildly different that I was like, I need to figure out a way how to knit 2 socks at a time. Now of course you could just do 2 circular needles, like 2 magic loop needles, or 2 9-inch circulars, 2 sets of DPNs, and just knit them concurrently. But I decided to make it hard for myself and do 2 at a time on magic loop. But yeah, so this is where they are. They are a little bit tedious because doing these stripes, I'm trying to carry the yarn up the inside so I don't have to have like 20,000 ends, but it is just something that I have to think about a little bit more than if I were just doing a vanilla sock, or if I were just cutting the end of the stripe off every round. Also, my joins are like a little wonky, but I think when I can go weave in the ends, because I have had to cut a little bit of ends. You see my bread clip end holder, because the ends were getting so tangled in my yarn, and it was driving me bonkers because the yarn's already gonna get tangled, okay? It's 4 balls of yarn attached to this. It's gonna get tangled, and it's gonna be a lot of stress and annoyance. And then I was like, I went downstairs and I saw this bread clip on my loaf of bread, and I was like, you know what? I've seen people do that before. So I tried it. It's been a godsend. Love this thing. Very smart. Whoever came up with this idea, you were a genius. It just keeps them so out of the way and so contained that I don't have to worry or stress about anything. But this is knit on 2.25 millimeter magic loop needles. They're 40 inches and it's Chagu red lace. But this is knit with Lang Jowl. I don't remember the colorways because they don't have them on the ball bands. I don't hate this yarn so far. It is a little bit drier and less bouncy than like a hand-dyed skein of yarn. I don't know. I wanted to knit something Oilers related, but it might have to be in timeout until I'm not sad anymore, which who knows how long that'll be, because I definitely did cry at work last night. Yeah, it wasn't a fun time. I remember my coworker would looked at me and was like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Duh." But I will say, I feel like I'm handling this one a lot better than I did last year. Last year was just a crap show. I like screamed, cried for like 20 minutes, and it's not a fun day, not a fun time. So my last work in progress is this. I don't have much to show you guys, because I started this Monday and it's knit in fingering weight yarn, so I'm not gonna have much to show. And that is my Tonight top by Lily Kate France. This is what's been taking up time from my Musselburgh hat, because I am just knitting stockinette in the round. That's also an issue I have right now, is everything is just stockinette in the round. Like my Musselburgh hat, stockinette in the round. But I will say with that, it is such a perfect take anywhere project. I love it so much. Like, I take it with me on car rides. I've just, you know, if I come home and I just want to knit but I don't want to think about anything, I can do that. But this is just stockinette flat, and my socks are also stockinette in the round. Those are, both of these in the socks have a little bit more interest going on, something I have to think about. But this is my Tonight top. It is approximately nothing to see yet, but it looks a little bit holy. It doesn't look like that in person, really. It's just kind of the light showing through. This is knit, you can't even tell. It looks so black on screen. It's navy. This is, why does it look black? It's not black, I swear it's not. It's a pretty deep navy, and it's Sandusgarn Sunday petite knit in the colorway Night Sky. Yeah, so I'm working the back panel right now. You start with a cast on edge, and then you go into some short rows very quickly, which short rows are so easy. I don't understand why people don't like German short rows. It is egregiously simple. I remember before I started knitting, you kind of just get preconceived notions about things, and when I started knitting, I had this notion that German short rows were bad, because I feel like any sort of media that would talk about knitting always talked about, ugh, German short rows, ugh, German short rows. I love a German short row. Maybe I'm the villain, but German short rows are super easy. But you start some short rows to shape the back, because this like cast on edge, the top of it, it's all one straight line, and then you work some short rows to make these like peaks. So these will be the top of the, so like this here will be the top of the shoulders, and then in between is the back neckline, which right now it looks really small. I did hit gauge exactly. I'm pretty sure I hit row gauge exactly too. I didn't measure, but just based on my pattern, my rows so far, I'm pretty sure I hit it. So yeah, I did hit gauge exactly. So it is the size it's supposed to be. I picked the, as with like, not really between two sizes, but I could have gone with a size 4 or size 5. I chose a size 5 just to be comfortable and less stressed, especially if I just knit a little tiny bit tighter at certain places. I didn't want it to be suffocating at all. So yeah, this is the Tonight top by Lily Kate France, Sandusgarn Sunday. Also, I will say this yarn is not my favorite. It just feels a little bit drier than like a Knitting for Olive merino. Even this feels like it has more, it just feels bouncy. Not bouncy, it feels kind of dry and spongy, which is something I noticed when I was knitting my dustling cardigan out of this, but I thought maybe holding it single stranded would be different. It's not. But I like the way my swatch came out, and I like the way it blocks out, so I'm not like too stressed about it. But yeah, I don't think it'll be done by the next time I see you guys, because it is a lot of work fingering my yarn. Like when I tell you this is like 60 rows, 50, 60 rows, and that's how much fabric I have. Disgusting. But yeah, I'm knitting this on 3.25 millimeter needles, which for anyone curious, I use the Knitter's Pride Zing needles. I don't love them. I think once I started using fixed Chagu needles, I became converted to Chagu, and so when I have to use these, which is most of the time, I'm just like, less happy with them. They're not as slick, they're not as pointy. The pointy part is the most important, or the most obvious difference to me is just that pointy tip on the Chagu lets you get into the needles or the stitches so nicely and so fast. And I just wish that these tips are more pointy, and maybe I will ask for a Chagu set for Christmas from someone. So my next section is my future cast-ons / acquisitions section, because I did pick up some yarn for the next project that I want to knit, and that is this yarn right here. This is, let me take it out of the bag. This is Gathering Yarn, their luxury one-shot series. I didn't know what that was before I picked it up, but I saw it on the website and I was like, I want to try that. The colors on the website versus the colors in store were very different, so I didn't think there was going to be a color that I really loved. And of course it's green. You can call me the green girl at this point, okay? I went in store and I felt it and I was like, this is so soft, and I saw this green and I was like, oh my god, it's so pretty. And I got 6 skeins of this, which required them to go to the back to grab the ones that they still had in the back. So she just gave me the bag for all my yarn. She was like, do you just want the bag? And I was like, yeah, sure. Lets me like have something to carry it. But Gathering Yarn is like a Canadian wholesale yarn supplier, but they do make their own stuff too. The Fiber Nook, which is the store I got this from, which is one of my local yarn stores, love that place. That and Statement Monkey, best friends. That's where I got like this yarn and stuff. I love that place. They have a bunch of their like undyed skeins as well, so if I ever wanted to go pick up an undyed skein and like naturally dye it or something, that is entirely possible. Might have to do that at some point, because it sounds like a fun project and a fun video to make, not gonna lie. It is, yeah, merino yak, 70% extra fine merino. It's non-superwash, and 30% yak. It's 250 meters per 100 grams, so a DK weight, and is in colorway Forest. This is going to be a Midlands cardigan by Penrose Knits, or Laura Penrose. I have been a loyal Penrose Knits follower for years. I remember when she started knitting this, the first sample, and I saw it and I was like, I need that. I need that. And she was like saying, oh, it's gonna be out in September, all these things, and I was super excited, and then September came and went and there was no pattern, and she talked about it and she was like, I just want it to be perfect. I'm not feeling it right now. I don't think it's perfect. I'm not gonna put it out. I'm not gonna put it out for testing or whatever, which is so fair. I'd rather it would take longer, but the pattern to be better, especially with such a complicated construction like this is. I'd rather her take the time to make sure it's perfect and to put out something that she's really proud of, instead of putting out something that's half-assed just because people want it out sooner. So I was more than happy to wait as long as I got to knit it someday. And there was a stretch of time where I thought it was never going to happen, and this Midlands cardigan of my dream was never going to come to fruition, but it came out finally. I was knitting for a little bit, and then I went on her design website just to double check that it wasn't out yet, and then I saw it and I was like, it's my time to shine. So I got yarn for it, and I love this color. I think it's gonna look great with my hair. Oh, do you see that? There's nothing better than a green on red hair. Sorry, it works, okay? I'm a little bit nervous that this is not going to be the best yarn for it, because she does recommend a yarn that is a bit more sticky, and this is very soft and buttery. But I think because it does still have felting capabilities, that it should be okay. It's a 2-ply for sure. It's not super tightly spun either, like the plies, but it should be okay, I think. Just because, if anything, if it needs to have more structure to it, I'll figure out something, but I think it'll be okay. They do have Apple or DK, which is the yarn she used for the sample at Fiber Nook, but I just don't love the feel of that yarn, and it's also extremely expensive here. It's definitely out of the budget, so it wasn't something I was going to pick up, but maybe one day for a sweater project or something, because I think it would be okay, especially after blocking, especially if I was wearing something under 2. But yeah, so it is a bit soft, possibly for that garment, but I'm still excited to knit it and see how it turns out, because I want just a very easy staple cardigan. I don't have a cardigan right now, like at all. I have one like navy blue one, but that's really it, and I have my Dustland cardigan, but I never reach for that, which I think I have decided mentally that I am going to frog it. When I find a pattern that I love enough to replace it, I'm probably going to frog, because I don't wear it, and that yarn was expensive, and even though I don't love it, I think it's time that I fix that. Yes, this is the yarn I have for my Midlands cardigan, and I'm so excited to knit this. I think I'm going to do the seamless version, because I'm pretty sure that she said that there is bicep circumference modifications in the pattern, and I'm pretty sure she would do it for both the seamless and the seamed version. I'm probably going to swatch for this Friday, especially if I find myself just not picking up my socks. This will go pretty up the queue. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I have to discuss with you guys today, yarn wise. I will be back in 2 weeks with more updates for you guys, because hopefully I should have a good amount of progress on everything. I hope I have at least my hat finished. I don't think I'll have anything else finished. My Midlands cardigan will probably be cast on. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, I have some progress on my Oilers socks, but we'll have to see about that. See if I can stomach it, because the idea of working on them just makes me a little bit nauseous inside. It seemed so good at the start. Like, those first 2 games were fantastic, and then they just kind of rolled over and died. And it's very frustrating when, you know, especially as someone who like interacts with the public all the time, and I work a lot of games, you see how happy and excited everyone is. That game that I went to was fantastic. It was incredible, and the joy on everyone's faces, the energy in that arena after we won was insane. It was crazy. Everyone was so excited and happy, and it just feels a little bit dull now. And I know everyone's super disappointed. There's no fan base like the Oilers fan base. It is the best fan base in the NHL, easily. I don't think you could debate that. Like, it's so good, and the fans here are so passionate. Everyone in the city is an Oilers fans, whether or not you watch every game. They got their 3rd goal, and my boyfriend texted me and said, "GG, it's over," and it was over for us. And you could just, every single person that came in after we lost was just sad. And yeah, I think it's gonna be like that for probably the next at least week. I think the city's probably just gonna be depressed. So the last thing I want to talk about today, post sad hockey talk, is the book that I'm currently reading. I did finally get my pre-order in. Oh my god, I'm in so much farther than I expected. Oh, I didn't look at that yet. But I got my pre-order, I think the day after I filmed, and I didn't touch this for like a week and a half. I don't know why, I just wasn't in a reading mood, but I decided that I miss reading. I miss engaging in books, and so I think to get back into reading, I'm doing a little bit of before bed reading. So like whenever I get home or whatever, like me and my boyfriend are texting all the time, but he usually goes to bed at like around 1 a.m. and I'm usually up because I tend to work pretty late. I get home before 1, but I'm usually up to like 2, 3 in the morning. So when he goes to bed, it's my knitting away, my phone away, and I just read. That was a big thing. It's like, I was like, why would I read if I could just knit? Because I can't read and knit at the same time. Sometimes I can. Right now, I just do not have it in me to do that, especially with a paperback book. But I think after we say goodnight, it's time for me to turn off everything, just read. And I'm enjoying this so far. I'm enjoying doing that too. Like, I think that's been really nice for me. I can't do it tonight because I'm going to stay over at my boyfriend's place. So if I will get any reading done today, we'll see. I might bring it with me just in case I can get some pages in, but we'll see. But yeah, I am enjoying this book quite a bit. This is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have a bunch of her books on the shelf right here. My 2 favorite books of all time are Daisy Jones and the Six and Evelyn Hugo. I remember I pre-ordered Daisy Jones and the Six and I read it in one sitting on the day it came out. Evelyn Hugo, as soon as it started getting, like, it had just released and it was starting to get some buzz, and I picked it up and I read it and I was like, this is magnificent. This is gorgeous. And I love all her books. I think my least favorite is Malibu Rising. This is not going to beat Daisy or Evelyn, for sure. I can tell you that right now. But it might be Carrie, because Carrie's my number 3. So, yeah, like, if I had to rank them, it's like Daisy, Evelyn, Carrie, Malibu. If you know what the fuck I'm saying. You might not. It's like, if you know what the fuck I'm saying. If you know Taylor Jenkins Reid, you know what I'm saying. This, I think, might slot in that middle section of 3rd. Because I'm not super tied to Carrie Soto, but this book I'm really enjoying. It is about a group of NASA astronauts. The main character is named Joan, and you live this life with her as she's entering the NASA astronaut program and learning all these things. It's set in the 1980s, and there's also some flash forward scenes of her being one of the, like, I can't remember what it's called in the book, where she's like one of the people at the desk, you know, helping people in space figure out what to do. And there's been a huge incident on the ship and she's trying to save their lives. And I don't know what to say because I don't want to spoil anything, but it is definitely a love story. It is queer, and especially now that I'm in the middle and I've experienced, or a little bit past the halfway point, I've experienced the romance between them bloom. And now reading the fast forward bits where they're on the ship, and it just is hitting so much harder. And so I think this is going to be a tearjerker, possibly. We'll see. But who knows? This will definitely be done by the time I come back in 2 weeks, and I'll have like a full rating and stuff. Right now it's probably like a 4.5 because I've been really enjoying it. I think it's very well researched too. I can't confirm or deny anything she's saying because I'm not an astronaut. Crazy enough, I'm not an astronaut. But it seems pretty accurate. So, because it's flying over my head. And if it's flying over my head, it's probably accurate. I have one other book to discuss. I just took it off there. And this is Self-Reborn, The Mystery of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This book does not come out for another week. I got this on Saturday, I believe. Yeah, Saturday. It came in the mail. This book does not come out to June 24th, which is after this video comes out. It's June 17th. No, it's June 18th right now. Wednesday, June 18th. This is going to come out Friday, June 20th. And this book doesn't come out till Tuesday, June 24th. Why do I have this? Why did I get it a week and a half early? Indigo made a mistake, apparently, because in no universe should I have this already. That doesn't make sense. Either way, I'm going to read this after I finish Atmosphere. So hopefully you guys will see this in the next episode as well. Then again, I am debating rereading the 3rd one, that one right there, before I read this one, because I have reread the 1st one a few times. I've reread the 2nd one a few times. This 3rd one I think I've only read like twice or something. I have to look it up, but I'm so excited for this. I've been waiting years for this book. I'm so excited. I remember the first time I read Nevermore, I did not care. I like read it in 24 hours and I was like, it was great, it was fun, but like, is it something that's going to stick with me? No, it has stuck with me. I love this series. It is so fun, it is so whimsical. I don't know how to explain what it's about because I haven't read the first book in a while, so I don't know really what's a spoiler and what's not, because it's just like the entire series is amalgamated in my brain at this point. But it is very magical. It's super whimsical. I love the characters. I love the magic system in this. I think it is so beautiful, and I'm so excited to read this to my children when they're old enough. That is like a dream I have in my head. This and the Amari series right there. Those are 2 like middle grade fantasy series. This is a middle grade fantasy. This is adult historical fiction. So I have range. This and Amari are like the 2 series that I constantly think about reading to my kids. And so I want to have all of them and do all that. I think I also need to read the 3rd book in Amari. That came out in September, and I never read it. So I think I might try to pick that up after I finish this book. So that is everything that I have to show you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, there's not much else to say. I will see you guys back in 2 weeks or possibly next week. We'll see if I upload that video or not. And yeah, I will be having hopefully a good amount of progress to show you guys. And yeah, that is everything. Happy knitting. Happy Friday if you're watching this the day it comes out. But yeah, outros are so awkward. I don't really know what to say half the time, but yeah. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Prairie Purl Knits, on Ravelry at Alyssa_is_bored. Both of those will be linked down below. All the patterns and project pages for all of this will also be linked down below in the description. And yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, there's a lot more like up-to-date stuff. I am posting a lot on my grid and also on YouTube Shorts because those seem to be doing really well. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!